Hello YouTube and welcome to another DV anime review. Today I am doing a requested review of an anime that a lot of people, also reviewers, said was the anime of the year of past year. And that anime is Death Parade. Needless to say that I went into this anime with quite the expectations. So have a seat, have a drink and enjoy this review while you still can. When people die, their soul can either be reincarnated into the next life or be cast into the void for eternity. Who goes where gets decided by arbiters, some kind of soul judges. One of those judges is the emotionless Dekim, the bartender of Queen Dekim. People come to him without any memories of their past, play a game and get judged. But one day, a young woman comes to Queen Dekim who somehow realizes that she's dead. Dekim decides to postpone her judgment and let her assist him with the judgment of other people. Before I start this review, I must warn you that this review will contain spoilers. Mostly because I'm going to talk about some of the judgments and give my own opinion on them. But as usual, I will tell you in advance when the spoilers are coming up and I will provide you with a link to skip the spoilers if you want to. Main positive point of Death Parade is definitely the overall setup of the story. Not many animes dare to use the topic of death and what happens after death and make an anime around that. And using this unique topic created the very unique atmosphere of Death Parade. Death Parade is a very self-reflecting anime. This is an anime that gives us an insight into the human soul at the most desperate of times. It shows us the darkest pieces of the human soul and gives examples of how far people would go if their lives are on the line. And because of that, Death Parade puts a mirror in front of its viewers and makes them look at themselves and self-reflect on their own lives. I believe that that's the main message that Death Parade wants to bring us. As the title of episode 11 says, Memento Mori, know that you will die one day. And I always like to combine that with its Latin counterpart Carpe Diem, enjoy the day. So know that you will die one day, so enjoy every day. But back to Death Parade, I give a lot of respect to this anime for being so self-reflecting and being a very moral and psychological anime, which by now you should know I adore those. The next thing that I liked about Death Parade is that Death Parade is actually a very sad anime underneath its skin. The anime really attracts your attention to the games that are playing right in front of you. And when the players get sent into reincarnation, you might feel some kind of joy because it's good. But actually, if you think about it for a while, then you realize that none of these arcs can have a happy ending. It doesn't matter if these souls get reincarnated or banished into oblivion, these people are dead. The games don't decide if these people live or die. They're dead and there's no way that these people can be saved. And Death Parade uses that fact to its fullest by showing us the lives that these people had before they died and by making us care about them. And no matter what the outcome of the game of the judgment was, those people wouldn't return to their previous lives and to their loved ones. And that made Death Parade very sad and depressing at its core. A next positive point was the ending song of Death Parade. A lot of people are fan of the opening song Flyers, and that was a good song. But I fell completely head over heels in love with the ending song called Last Theater. I love this song for the meaning that lays behind it. Because the lyrics are in English, very unusual for an anime, we can understand what the song wants to say. I mean, if we look at the lyrics, I'm going to read quickly the chorus of the song. I'm not gonna make it. Is it almost over now? Can't see the way to go. I feel so alone. My blood is on the ground. This time I lost control. The agony that these lyrics contain are so amazing. This is what a person feels if it's standing at the edge of the abyss. But even if we don't consider the English lyrics, the overall atmosphere of this song is so dark, so depressing that it fits the overall atmosphere of this entire anime more than perfect. And then now I'm going to give my opinion on some of the judgment calls that were made in this anime. Of course, these are massive spoilers to these arcs, so click the link on the screen if you don't want to be spoiled on these arcs. Okay, now short set, I agreed with most of the judgments, but there were a few where I had doubts. Now the first episode. It's kind of logic that I didn't agree with that judgment. The woman sacrificed herself to save her man, and of course she didn't deserve to be sent to the void. But her being sent to the void was necessary for the progress of the anime, since Dakim needed to make that mistake to get his development going. Now the judgments that I had to think about the most were those of Shimada and Tatsumi. Best arc, by the way. Tatsumi, that he was sent to the void, which we actually never get to see literally, but it's heavily hinted. I could understand that. Okay, he revenged his wife, but after that he went on to this crusade of punishment. And how far are we away from anarchy then? And what pushed me over the edge to send him to the void was that he witnessed Shimada's sister being raped, and he just stood by and watched because he needed a victim to have a reason to judge the rapist, and that went against my moral boundaries. And I also noticed that Tatsumi had peace with himself being condemned. He had absolutely no regrets of anything that he did. So, okay, to the void with you. But I had an enormous problem with Shimada supposedly being sent to the void. If I was the arbiter, it would have been crystal clear what my judgment would have been. Reincarnation, no doubt. This is to the guys who watch this review. If you have a little sister and she would get assaulted or raped by a guy, what would your feeling be? I know what mine would be. I have a little sister myself, and if anyone ever dares to put a finger onto her, then that guy is dead. So, in my opinion, Shimada did what everyone would do, and he deserved it to be reincarnated. Now, my biggest problem that I had with Death Parade didn't came from the main storyline, but from the side story revolving around Mayu and the other bartender Ginty. I failed to see the reason why this arc was in this anime. The story gets told in one episode somewhere halfway through the anime and then gets resolved in the final episode. Why? We also don't get to see what happens to Harada, what happened. We don't see that. And on top of that, I found Ginty to be an asshole. Even if he made the right call or not in the final episode, he was a dick. He had no respect for the people that came to him and he was just a dick. But to me, that side story had no extra value and it felt completely out of the blue in this anime. Another thing I can't tell a lot about because of spoilers that I had a problem with was the ending of the anime. Because I felt that not everything was concluded, especially between Noma and Oculus. But I can't go further into that, but let's say that it could have had a better conclusion. And a final thing was that I found that the anime wasn't really consistent. The third rule of the Arbiter says that Arbiters can't feel emotions. So every Arbiter should be like Dakim, cold and emotionless. Then why did I see a lot of emotions with every other character in this anime? Why did Ginty feel anger and resentment towards Dakim? Wasn't he supposed to be emotionless? So little consistency about that. So as a conclusion, Death Parade was a very unique anime, and I can definitely see why a lot of people awarded this anime the title Anime of the Year 2015. It was very self-reflecting, and it's one of those animes that makes you stop and think about yourself. So I am going to rate Death Parade at 4 out of 5 stars. It was a very good anime. But if I would have watched Death Parade last year, it wouldn't have been my anime of the year. As you might know, that was Shigatsu. But very good anime, I highly recommend it because it's really a mirror to the soul. Another anime that deals with death and the afterlife and coming to terms with your past is Angel Beats. A very sad anime, and not secretly sad like Death Parade. It blows it in your face, and it's still one of the saddest animes I have ever seen. So I highly recommend watching Angel Beats as well. And with that I conclude my review of Death Parade. As usual, you can find a full list of all my animes and reviews over at Anime Planet. As usual, I will put a link in the description box down below. Now if you want me to review a particular anime from this list, please put it in the comments. Also, if you have a recommendation for me, put them in the comments as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, visit me on Facebook and subscribe to this channel for more reviews in the future. I will say arigatou gozaimasu and I will see you all in the next video.